Chrono Slip SB 129. Timeline Divergence. It started the same as it always did. Squidward, exhausted and fed up with SpongeBob and Patrick's antics, fled to the Krusty Krab freezer, seeking peace. He slammed the door shut, arms crossed, silence finally his. But when he opened the door again, time slipped. In the original, SB 129. Squidward was flung through future and past. The chrome future of Spongetron. The prehistoric madness of jellyfish. The blank void of eternity. But in this timeline, something fractured. Maybe the machine malfunctioned. Maybe the cosmic fabric was already fraying. Either way, Squidward opened the door and stepped onto gray rock. Above him, no sun, no sky. Just black, endless space. And a shattered earth, burning red. He stumbled forward, the freezer behind him vanishing in a ripple. Gravity pulled differently here. Light curved, dust rose slowly with every step. A siren blared, sudden and violent. Red lights pulsed in sequence across distant corridors. The ground trembled beneath his feet. Where am I? Squidward stammered. Then he saw it. A metal hatch marked Griffin Station, labeled in German. He wandered into the base's antechamber. Walls lined with worn-down steel, terminals glowing dimly. Monitors showed schematics of Earth, Moon, and Rift signatures. Over a speaker, a heavily accented voice played on loop. Project, der große Plan ist in Bewegung. Prepare the pyramid for soul alignment. Unaware of what he was touching, Squidward slammed a palm on a flickering terminal. Alarms silenced, lights dimmed. A small case popped open behind him with a hiss. Inside was a weapon unlike anything he'd seen. Sleek, glowing, humming with otherworldly power. The wave gun. The second Squidward picked it up, the weapon pulsed like it recognized him. Red energy laced his tentacle. The gun folded in half, revealing its dual-wield capability, turning into the zap guns. Well, this is oddly satisfying, he muttered, holding a gun in each tentacle. Seconds later, the wall exploded. Two zombies in EVA suits clawed their way through the breach. Squidward screamed, fired, and watched in horror as one zombie microwaved from the inside out, glowing red and exploding in low gravity like popcorn. The other tried to grab him, but Squidward reflexively used the alt fire, combining the two pistols into the full wave gun again and blasting the creature into dust. Okay, what the tartar sauce is happening here? Squidward stumbled through the base, learning as he went. The wave gun somehow responded to his intent, even generating a low-gravity blast shield when he panicked. He made it to the teleporter bay. Destination, Earth, offline. But a remote coordinate injection system blinked to life. The machine scanned Squidward's biosignature, cross-referenced it with Rift energy from SB 129, and opened a brief temporal window. Teleportation tethering link, active, unstable. Boom. The room cracked open with light. 3 water capsules tumbled out, and from them, SpongeBob, Patrick, and Mr. Krabs emerged, gasping, soaked, and panicked. Each wore janky, pressurized EVA dive suit, retrofitted with tanks of moon-compatible water circulation built by Sandy's old emergency protocols. Squidward, what is this place? SpongeBob yelped, flipping backward in moon gravity. Hooray! Space camping! Patrick shouted, bouncing into a ceiling. Where's me gold? Roared Mr. Krabs, already looting supply crates. Squidward's jaw dropped. No. You're not supposed to be here. As if responding to their arrival, lockers across the room clicked open. The station was recognizing new combatants. SpongeBob opens a locker to find the Scavenger, BU, one sniper wonder weapon from Call of the Dead. She'd been retrofitted for his size. "Ooh, it makes bubbles," he exclaims as the explosive rounds ripple in 0G. Patrick somehow gets dual ray gun Mark II pistols. No one knows why, probably fate. "Do they shoot candy?" he asks, firing wildly into the ceiling. Mr. Krabs claims a modified death machine with a belt-fed MOAB launcher and a golden grip. "Oh ho hoo, now this be profitable carnage," Squidward sighs. "We're all going to die." Through windows, Earth glows brighter. The team hears one final broadcast from the old moon intercom. The one from Origin's Richtofen, logged in the system. "We must secure a better tomorrow, for the universe must be reset. Goodbye, Earth." 3 missiles streak across the sky, and then, impact. The planet ruptures, the oceans boil, the lights go out, the Earth is no more. Suddenly, pressure systems across Griffin Station rupture, airlocks shatter, more zombies spill out, dozens, hundreds, a never-ending wave of undead cosmonauts, crawlers, and hellhounds clawing toward them. Squidward instinctively opens fire with the wave gun. Zombies explode in purple plasma. SpongeBob screams while firing his scavenger, triggering a chain of floating, slow-motion cryo explosions. Patrick laughs as he spins through the air, blasting dual ray guns while singing the fun song. Mr. Krabs sets up a barricade of lockers and goes full turret mode with his gold-plated death machine. In all the chaos, Squidward yells over the gunfire. "We have to survive. If Earth's gone, we're all that's left." The team fights as the gravity drops, the zombies fly, and a rift begins to tear open above the power core, hinting that time and reality itself is still unstable. Squidward had been angry before, annoyed, frustrated, depressed, bitter. Those were his core emotions. But this was different. This wasn't rage at SpongeBob's laughter or Patrick's stupidity. This was raw panic surging through every nerve in his body. Earth was gone, vaporized. The last thing he ever hated was now ash in the sky, and the only creatures left to witness it were him, and 3 aquatic morons in water suits armed with wonder weapons. The zombies weren't slowing down. Griffin Station was crawling with undead soldiers in cracked EVA suits, crawling hellhounds that leaked black smoke, and pale glowing creatures that hadn't even appeared in Squidward's nightmares yet. The entire moon base trembled with each step they took. Their moans weren't just sounds. They echoed, reverberating across metal walls like death itself had a voice. Squidward led the others into the biodome, the massive glass hemisphere that had once served as a testing facility for lunar agriculture. Now, it was overgrown with twisted plants, tendrils, feeding off spilled 115 containers, pulsating in sync with some invisible heartbeat. The team sealed the bulkhead doors behind them and began to breathe, or, in SpongeBob's case, sob. SpongeBob sat by the oxygen recycler, head in his gloved hands, his laugh long gone. His usual optimism was replaced by the shaking silence of someone who just watched their entire world be annihilated. Patrick tried to cheer him up by drawing faces on crawler corpses with his finger. But even he wasn't laughing anymore. He'd finally asked the question, if Bikini Bottom was on Earth, then is Sandy gone? Mr. Krabs didn't flinch. He was too busy dragging a broken terminal across the floor, using it to brace the doors. "We're not dying on a floating graveyard, boys," he said, slamming a fresh battery into his gold-plated death machine. "There's always another vault, another payday. We just need an exit." Squidward didn't respond. He was staring at the console in the corner of the room, the one with Richtofen's backup logs. A corrupted file blinked on the screen, glitching violently before stabilizing into an audio log. Entry 74, Dr. Richtofen, The aquatic anomalies retrieved from Site Neptune 4 have shown molecular resistance to 115 exposure, particularly the sponge. Fascinating. Perhaps there is a genetic safeguard encoded within their cellular structure. We'll continue tests. Squidward's heart stopped. Site Neptune 4. That was Bikini Bottom. That meant they'd been there, studying them. The log continued. Squid form subject displays reactive cognitive spikes under stress. The more agitated it becomes, the more in sync it becomes with the wave gun. Could be useful. He turned and stared at the weapon in his hands. The wave gun vibrated faintly. It had chosen him the moment he touched it. Not because of skill, because of who he was. He stepped away from the console and returned to the group. SpongeBob looked up, eyes glassy. What happens now? We find the next room, Squidward said, surprisingly steady. We survive. That's what we do. They moved through the biodome, fighting their way through a wave of floaters and moon crawlers. Patrick was surprisingly efficient with the dual ray guns now. He'd started naming his left and right hands Boomy and Zoomy. He fired while giggling, the sound echoing eerily in the low-gravity silence. Mr. Krabs found a hidden armory loaded with EMP grenades and began jerry-rigging traps near the teleporters. SpongeBob, despite his heartbreak, stayed close to Squidward, trusting him, shadowing his every step. The team discovered a lab near the back of the station, previously locked down. Inside were containment pods. 3 of them were cracked open. Inside the last one was something still pulsing, a creature unlike anything they'd seen. Her a mutated fish-like organism, glowing green with 115 lines branching down its translucent body. SpongeBob stared at it. Is that plankton? Squidward shook his head. No, that's what plankton could have become. The power flickered. An alarm triggered. Something had breached the main core. From the control panel, Squidward watched as something massive entered the station. A figure in a cracked astronaut suit, skin peeled, eye sockets glowing orange, dragging a thunderous staff behind him. The monitor identified it automatically. Juggernog class, dark astronaut, origin unknown. It began hunting them. The station plunged into chaos. Lights failed, doors locked, oxygen levels began to fluctuate. The zombies multiplied faster than before. Something was calling them. Squidward could feel it. He guided the team through the tunnels, shouting commands, now fully stepping into the role of reluctant leader. SpongeBob kept them together, rallying morale even as he shook with grief. Patrick became the brute force, covering their escape routes with ray gun blasts that lit the corridors in neon green fire. Mr. Krabs started treating the entire fight like a heist, searching for escape pods and schematics mid-battle. They made it to the central control room, the same one Richthofen had used to align the moon pyramid device. Most systems were destroyed, but one remained active, an experimental time link prototype labeled Chrono Anchor. Squidward studied it, a backdoor, a failsafe, a possible route out of this dimension. The catch? It needed massive power, and it had to be activated manually. Outside and near the power core, the moon's surface, again, he turned to the others. If we want to leave, one of us isn't coming back. Everyone went quiet. SpongeBob stood. Then we all go. The group suited up, armed themselves with everything they had left. Special ammo, energy canisters, EMPs, tactical ice grenades, and reinforced lunar armor pieces. Squidward reloaded the wave gun, clipped it to his back, and silently promised he wouldn't let them die here. They stepped into the airlock. The vacuum hissed. The moon spread out before them. Dark, hollow, hungry. Behind them, the dark astronaut stepped out of the shadows, dragging a scorched Richtofen helmet in one hand, the other reaching for them. The battle for time, for survival, for their last chance to live, was about to begin. The moon was quiet, too quiet, with every step across the gray dust. Their boots kicked up slow, ghost-like plumes that lingered far too long in the airless void. The stars were dead above them, Earth was shattered behind them, and all that remained now was forward, toward the exposed lunar core relay tower, where the chrono anchor waited. It stood in the distance like a cathedral of wires and obsidian metal, glowing with unnatural blue light. A field of wreckage surrounded it. Broken moon crawlers, warped teleporter plates, even fragments of Nikolai's vodka bottle floating by in microgravity. Squidward tightened his grip on the wave gun. Patrick and Mr. Krabs flanked him with their weapons drawn, but it was SpongeBob who stood closest. His optimism was gone, replaced by something new. Focus. He hadn't spoken much since Earth blew up. Not a joke, not a song, just silence. His yellow suit had dulled, cracked around the edges from the dry lunar winds. "Just a few more steps," Squidward muttered. Then the world exploded in red light. A meteor hit the ground behind them. Not a rock, but the dark astronaut crashing like a god of vengeance. His broken helmet hissed with internal flame. His limbs moved wrong, jointed like a puppet, burning with the rage of the dead. The staff he dragged slammed into the ground, releasing a gravity shockwave that sent Patrick tumbling end over end. Mr. Krabs laid down suppressive fire with his death machine, but the bullets barely scratched the figure's obsidian armor. "Move, move," Squidward shouted. They made a mad dash toward the tower, but the zombies poured in from every direction. Crawlers, gassers, broken cosmonauts, even moon hellhounds with glowing split skulls. The horde had been dormant, but the chrono anchor's activation must have triggered something in the residual ether. Patrick leapt into the air and fired both ray guns downward, creating a mid-air explosion that wiped the pack below him. "I'm finally a spaceman," he screamed. SpongeBob activated a cryo grenade, freezing a dozen enemies and then shattering them with a well-placed scavenger shot. He moved like a soldier now, not a fry cook. But the dark astronaut was still coming. They reached the tower's central platform, and Squidward jammed the last power cell into the anchor port. The machine whirred to life, glowing a violent shade of purple. "We need 30 seconds, he yelled. Mr. Krabs dropped an EMP grenade and detonated it, temporarily shutting down the zombies' senses in the blast radius. "Buying you time, boys," he roared, standing his ground and mowing down anything that came close. His armor cracked, his visor shattered, but he stood like a final boss. Squidward looked at the control panel. 2 coordinates blinked on the screen. 1. Return to original timeline. 2. Unknown safe zone coordinates unstable. Which one? SpongeBob shouted. Squidward didn't know. Going home meant returning to a dead Earth. The safe zone? No guarantees. Could be worse. Could be nothing. The dark astronaut landed on the platform. He grabbed Patrick by the leg and hurled him into a satellite dish. Blood splattered inside his helmet. SpongeBob screamed and ran to help him, but the astronaut fired a pulse beam that knocked both of them unconscious. Only Squidward remained, and the timer on the chrono anchor was almost out. He looked down at his own hands, trembling, still holding the wave gun. "I've spent my whole life hating that sponge," he whispered, mocking him, running from him, and now he's all that's left. He looked at SpongeBob's body, limp and floating, Patrick groaning in pain, Mr. Krabs still firing, even as his ammo ran dry. Something changed. The wave gun pulsed, its glow deepened, white hot. A memory hit him. Sitting alone in the Krusty Krab, playing clarinet badly, wishing the noise would all stop. Back then, he thought he hated them. But now, he realized they were the only people who ever saw him. He reconfigured the chrono anchor's settings. If the coordinates couldn't lock onto all four, maybe it could lock onto one. Just one. He turned back and faced the dark astronaut, pulling the wave gun into full dual mode. You want me? Come and get me. The wave gun fired. The beam hit the astronaut mid-chest, splitting his torso open in a blossom of white fire. The moon cracked, the surface ruptured. Time screamed. The chrono anchor finished its sequence. It pulled in one soul. The screen goes white. A quiet scene follows. SpongeBob wakes up in a new world, a peaceful underwater version of the moon base, reassembled through rift energy and broken fragments of Bikini Bottom. He's alone, his suit is gone. There's air, warmth, a clarinet is playing softly in the distance. He follows the sound and finds no one, just the wave gun resting on a stone. A final message engraved below it in Squidward's handwriting. I hated you because you smiled when I couldn't. I saved you because you gave me a reason to live. Don't ever stop smiling, SpongeBob. As SpongeBob picks up the wave gun and smiles through tears.